Hey there, comic book fans. I am back from the comic shop this week, and I've got 6 new comics, plus a few extra freebies thrown in. Let's see, this first one is Spawn, number 262, by Erik Larsen and Todd McFarlane, the epic finale to the Satan Saga Wars. I never liked that font very much. I've seen it used on comics a lot, but McFarlane and Larsen it's like God makes an appearance in this one. McFarlane and Larsen continue to tell their Spawn stories to the original Image guys. Oh, and that just reminds me, in my videos of Marvel Minutia, when I was talking about sort of one-off corner box art, I noticed I was in the comic shop today and they happened to get a few issues of Erik Larsen's run on Spider-Man from back in the early 90s. And a few of those issues actually had the one-off UPC art. That's where, where's the UPC? And the UPC box, not even a UPC box on this, is there? Where'd it go? And the UPC box in the early 90s one, instead of like a pasted-up Spider-Man head, sometimes the artists would draw their own little drawings. So if you're looking for sort of one-off little UPC box art, check out that Erik Larsen run on Spider-Man. And next we've got Monstrous. I've been enjoying this book a whole lot. Some rather intricate decorative art on that cover and some in the insides too. We're learning more about this world that these people live in, and they've got kind of a detente going between two sides, humans and these magic creatures in this big and this big war that went on. They've got a peace now, but it's a tenuous peace that may be breaking. And meanwhile, this little girl is somehow key to this giant monster that showed up at the end of the last war and killed a lot of people, but no one's really sure what that giant monster is, but we'll find out in Monstrous. And look, Drifter is back with blocks of color. This has been on hiatus for a few months, I think since about February. One of my favorite books, sci-fi book, Western-ish at first, and now turned into this really weird sort of exploring sci-fi book with strange monsters, and no one quite knows what's going on, but I think there's 2 trades of this out now. What number is this? This is number 10. So I think there's a couple of trades out of this. This is like, there must be a start of a new story arc that kind of ended in the middle of another one, but I really enjoyed Drifter. There's only a couple of us out there. I think the Wonky Ninja and I are the only 2 picking this up that I noticed, but it's a really good book. Check it out sometime. Then we've got Deadly Class, number 20. Part 4 of 5, I think this is. Who doesn't like Deadly Class? If you're not reading this one, you're missing out. High school for assassins. It's their final exam, and people are trying to kill other classmates of theirs. It's just such a romp. No one can draw a chase scene like, what's his name? Craig? Is it Wes Craig? Wes Craig. Wes Craig draws the best chase scenes just about ever. I never thought of chase scenes having much place in a lot of comics before, but he does it like nobody's business. And this is one of my favorite books every month, and I look forward to this issue, another one there's plenty of trades for, so check it out. Then we've got The Autumn Lands, number 10, Kurt Busiek. What's Dewey's first name? Benjamin Dewey, Jordy Belair, John Rochelle, Jimmy Bentecourt of Comic Craft. This has been enjoying this one. Sort of a Commandy, the last boy on Earth in a world of magic animals. An epic tale. This is there's the human, the supposed savior of this world, but who knows? He doesn't even know what the heck's going on. And his companion, who is a magician's apprentice sort of character. And they're traveling this world trying to figure stuff out. I don't even know what they're trying to figure out at this point. How to save it? The big overall storyline was the magic people who are in this world, who live in floating cities, are trying to figure out why the magic is disappearing. So they pulled this human guy out of the past or something, and he's supposed to help them save it, but you know, that's not really happening just yet, so we'll see. But either way, very much enjoying the Autumn Lands. I think there's one trade of this out, maybe two. Check it out. The final new issue for this week is No Mercy, issue number 9. And I've finally come to the conclusion that I'm just going to be a little disappointed with No Mercy every time it comes out. Because the artist on the book, Carla Speed McNeil, I hate making lists, but if I were to make like a top 5 list of my favorite comic creators making comics right now, Carla Speed McNeil would be on my top 5 list. I like her stuff that much. But she's not writing this book. Her book, this is not a top 5 book for me, and Carla Speed McNeil is a top 5 talent. The Finder stories she's doing in Dark Horse Presents are not that this is bad. I'm not even saying this is bad because I'm just going to be a little disappointed in it because I like Carla Speed McNeil's writing better than who's writing this? Lee? I don't know. Who can find credits? And whoever Lee is, or no, is Alex DeCampi the writer on this? Jeez, I don't remember. But either way, I like Carla Speed McNeil's writing better, and she's just doing the art in this. So I'm going to be a little disappointed by it, but I'm going to keep buying it because that's how big of a Carla Speed McNeil fan I am. And finally, I have to show you that I picked up... Actually, he gave them to me. The adjectiveless X-Men from the early 90s, the Jim Lee X-Men. That, it was funny, John who works at the comic shop, he bought a small group of books from this guy who had been coming in trying to sell. He said he'd been coming in trying to sell books for a while, so he just gave him $30 for the books. And these 3 were in it. And he's like, oh my goodness, we have so many sets of these. And I was like, oh, I'll have to pick these up one day because I don't have them, and I'll have to get them just for nostalgia value. And he's like, here, have these right here, free, they're yours. It'll save me the trouble of putting them somewhere. So I'll have to find issue 2 someday, but I now have issues 1, 3, and 4 of, I think this is the 1991 this came out, a million of them printed each, so they're not exactly expensive issues, but I don't think I ever actually even bothered to read these, but for sheer nostalgia value I have them now. And finally, we're going to give you a little look at my background art. These are a couple of ink drawings, colored ink drawings that I did recently. I think I've meant to show these off, but haven't. This is, I think I named her, let's see, Serif the Fire Goddess. I haven't named the Goddess of the Woods yet there. I once did a whole series, I started, I think I only got 5 or 6 of them, series of goddesses years ago, prints. So I've decided to revive that a little. And get a little more sexuality into my drawing because I often find my drawing tends more to the weird intellectual side, and sometimes I like to get a little more sexiness in just to liven things up. So that's what I did with these ones. So there are a couple more ink drawings for you this week, and I hope to be showing you more once I figure out how to make some good art videos. Have a good one out there.